I'll never let you go. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, my.
Hi, welcome to the Gastroenteritis Blues. My name is Steve Lippman, joined as always. The team is back together. Some call us the Avengers. Perfect lead-in. Joined as always by Dan Volpone, Emily Cannell, Drew Peltzman. We can't see him, but Emily, do you like those movies, the Marvel superhero films?
I do. I think I've seen all of them.
Every single one.
Yeah, and I see them in the theaters. I go to the movies to see them even.
Do you go the first night? Do you go dressed up as, give me 1 second, do you go dressed up as one of the characters?
I don't go dressed up. I do generally go at least the first weekend.
You go the first weekend. And what is your favorite of the branches of these fellas or ladies?
I really like the Captain America. I think they're all very good.
Which is Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. He's also quite handsome, so that helps.
Yeah, well, he's a fun to look at. Big time. So him, now, does anybody usually join him in those, or is it just him running around?
Sometimes people join him in those. I think that's like the fun of them. You just never know who's going to pop up.
Got it. Dan, do you like those films?
I do not.
You do not. Have you never seen any of them?
No, I've seen a couple of them, but like, because my dad likes them.
Dan doesn't really like films in general.
Oh, that's true.
But I really don't like those
yeah.
ones. I don't really get, like, I've seen them on, like, in the background and stuff. Like, they're, like, very, they're very whatever to me.
Yeah, they're not my bag. I don't get into them. I've seen a few of them. I've seen Brie Larson one. I've seen Black Panther. That was good.
If you were in it, I'd watch.
I would never get in one of those. Not because I would say no, but because I wouldn't be offered.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Steve would jump at the chance to be in one of those.
Oh, I do fucking anything. Absolutely. I have a very low bar. But no, they just wouldn't offer it to me. Drew,
there's some things you would say no to. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I don't know, man.
You wouldn't be in Kyrie's movies.
I don't know, man. Everybody's got their own point of view. No,
none of you guys are gonna have to be named Uncle Drew whenever your siblings have a child. So
tough.
That's tough.
You will be Uncle Drew. It's true. You know. Should we, as a pod thing, go back and watch his Uncle Drew movie and see if there are any undertones? That one's louder than the last one that I just put up here. And see if there are any weird undertones where, like, he's on the court and he beats Uncle Irving in, like, a weird way. All right, the Sixers this week. They played the Cavs yesterday. And they lost.
That is the biggest dog toy I've ever seen.
This here, this is good for the YouTube.
It's a really big dog toy.
This here is a military grade dog toy. So this is
I know.
Okay. What you need to know about Rainey is that whenever we get her a plush toy, she makes it her goal to chew through it with, like, ferocity. She gets it and she gets to its heart and she pulls it out. Take it easy. She pulls out the fluff within seconds. She rips it out. So we have to get her these toys, which are made out of this, like, corduroy fabric that has, like, tough, like, it's like made of Kevlar. It's impenetrable, even though she does penetrate it. And she tore its ear off, and we just had Gab's mom sew it shut so that she won't get through it. Anyway, this is, what would you call this? Mermaid.
I think it's a seahorse.
Seahorse.
100% a seahorse.
It's a seahorse.
It's a mermaid.
It's not a mermaid. It's a seahorse. Sammy the seahorse, and then this is Bobby the bear. Anyway, they're all made of this corduroy fabric. They all cost $90 a pop. It's great. But
dogs are
not
great.
actually. Dogs, exactly. Dogs are great. But yeah, so these are all very, like, specially made and impossible to find. And it's great. She's a lot of fun. All right, Sixers yesterday, or whenever you're listening to this, but recently they played the Cavaliers. It was the worst game of the year. Joel played in it, quote unquote. They were horrendous. They looked like shit. They've been very good lately, but this was just like a throw out the tape game. They lost by a billion. Cleveland hit every shot. The Sixers missed every shot. The Sixers looked like they didn't know what time the game started. I don't.
Doc probably didn't actually know.
Doc probably didn't know who was playing in it. I don't care so much to talk about this game. If you guys do, feel free, but I got nothing. Emily, any comments on this?
I think the only things to talk about this game, if we're gonna go in like chronological order, is Doc Rivers' comments about this game after this game, because he also didn't like. He said that, you know, this was a quote unquote scheduled loss and that the guys didn't care and he doesn't care, and just thought it was kind of a
wait. I missed that completely. He said this was. Wait, can somebody get the actual quote of that, Drew? If you have this, because I missed.
I already, I have it, but I think Emily has it, so you can
I have it. So this is what he said post game. He said, "You could see it early. We were dead and we were flat. Sometimes you get into the game and you get into it. There were no signs of that. You could just see it offensively and defensively. I mean, they were shooting 73% in the first half. You were never going to win this game. It was a scheduled loss. That's how it felt. When you can see guys that just have no energy and no legs. Yeah, so not much tonight. We're not going to learn anything from this. We just throw this away, then go to Memphis. That's how I felt."
You know, the last part I agree with, but the fact that he's almost like determined to not learn anything from it, I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
Why even try?
Why
try and learn something from it? I don't know.
No. Great.
They're never going to play a back-to-back again. So, like, why learn from it?
No. Another day at the office for Doc Rivers where he just goes, I don't care. They don't care. We're moving on. And then watch, they'll lose by 20 to Memphis. And it'll be like, I guess this is just a week off. I don't know what to tell you.
Wasn't even a back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. Right.
This was not a back.
Well, it was a consecutive.
They won some
Like
back-to-backs, actually.
a back-to-back. This game was after the last game, which is almost like a back-to-back. Like they played a game pretty recently. So, you know, yeah.
And I mean, I think the Sixers, they looked bad. Like they weren't making shots, but I don't know that I would say that they were flat like the whole time. Like I thought Joel like tried to get into it a little bit.
First few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like he got the tee, like he was trying to like, and then he kind of like, after the tee, he like drove down the court and like I'm pretty sure he like dunked it or laid it up. It was like something kind of emphatic, and I was like, okay, like maybe we're getting something going, but no one really else was doing anything. PJ Tucker hit 2 threes. That was good. I think those were like the only threes that anyone made in the game. But
I don't like the culture that's been built where it's okay. Like these games, like for us, it's fine to be like, yeah, they happen. But like that shouldn't be okay within the team. Like the team should be like, we really don't want this to happen. Like not every team does this. Like, I mean, we've seen teams going, the Sixers literally under Brett Brown had a 17 game winning streak, right? And the Warriors won 73 games in an entire season. How many games off do you think they were taking? Like this happens frequently. And like the teams that are really good, like this doesn't happen over and over. And like I've said it before, it's hard to just flip a switch. And this is the first bad game in a while, so it's not the end of the world, but like it's hard to flip a switch when you get to the playoffs to have, you know, when you have a culture of, yeah, they're making a bunch of shots in the first few minutes and we checked out, oh, well, let's move on. And there's no like, why did we do that? We shouldn't do that. We should try to stay in every game, you know, versus like, you know, then you get to the playoffs and it's, you actually have to try to win every game. You actually can't give up on a game. And, you know, the Sixers did have a big comeback against Toronto in the playoffs, but they were a lot better than Toronto. It wasn't all that surprising. It felt like when they went down to the Heat, they were checked out and done, especially in that game 6, which was like a must-win game at home, was just fully unacceptable. And it's just a continuous worrying thing with this team. And, you know, it was nice to see them, you know, come back against Atlanta. And I was hoping and you know, some games you're just going to play poorly, and that's fine. I just don't like the reaction to it being, oh well, we were checked out, whatever. Like, no, you need to try to not be checked out. That's pretty important. It's important to build up to, we are not that team. We're not going to be the team that checks out, because you can't just become that team later. Like, in the same way that players who we talk about as guys who play hard are still valuable in the playoffs. It's not like, oh, well, now everyone else is playing especially hard, so they have no value now. It's like, no, these guys are still, like, they have the correct habits to be the ones playing hard consistently. Like, that needs to be the Sixers. And they've maybe made progress along this year, especially in the time that, Joel was out and Harden was out and Maxey was out. Like, those few games with like Shake and those guys getting their opportunity were consistently playing hard. Like, that has to be everyone and all the time. So I don't know. I'm not worried about the loss itself, but those quotes are not great.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it is like a pick your battles thing in a long season, where it's like, if they just don't have it to a certain extent, like, do they really want to ream them after they played so well in this stretch, and they're still at a talent deficit with Harden and Maxey out against a good team on the road? Like, do they just sort of pick their battles? And if they turn in a performance like this, now I don't think Doc ever does this, which is a larger issue. But it also has to be more on the players than the head coach, like, which is like a more concerning thing, is if they're laying eggs in winnable games, with the full complement of their players. But I've been very impressed with the team's overall effort, especially when the three of those guys have been out. But yeah, overall, it's like, especially now that they're wherever they are, fifth in the standings, and everybody's so bunched together that I honestly don't really care about the standings right now, because everybody is within like a game except for Boston. But the thing that they can't do is like not try and beat a bunch of teams, because they haven't figured it out altogether, because they haven't been all together. So they do need to like be a team that tries and that doesn't just wait until the playoffs, because first of all, they're not good enough. And also they haven't been together long enough. So they're not the Warriors who can lose to the Kings every year. They're not good enough. So, yeah, Emily, what do you think of that?
I agree with both of you, but like, if you were a player, would you be pissed, like, hearing your coach say that after a game? Like, I think I'd be pissed. To just be like, they didn't have it. Like, we're not going to learn anything from the game. Like, we're just going to, I mean, not the move on part, but like, I would just rather have a team that, yeah, bad games are going to happen. And I mean, they're not that good of a team. So of course they are, but like, I want players that are like kind of pissed when they lose, not just like indifferent.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And I would want to play for a coach who's not like technically reaming them out. I don't need him to like go off on like them in a post-game press conference, but I would also like wouldn't feel particularly inspired playing for a coach that just says like, we're not going to learn anything from what just happened, and we didn't have it, and they were better than us, and so we gave up. Like, who wants to play for a guy like that? I think it's really lame.
Yeah, I get really, it's very dispiriting to me that the Doc thing seems totally over, that like, if that's ever happening, it's completely not happening until the end of the year. So it's like, that's just totally.
Joel just gave him credit for their good play lately, and
totally, yeah. Joel just gave him a bunch of credit for how they've been playing. He
deserves some. I mean, and I think if Joel likes him, that does matter. Like, that's right. Not irrelevant, but it's gotten old.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also like I just would love them to have somebody who is the least bit inventive and the least bit like trying things or scheming up something a little like quirky or fun, or like, he seems so stodgy, and like, we've had the Doc conversation a million times, but like, the having Harden and Embiid and Maxey, it feels like there is more to be done with the three of them. And also, it would be great to have somebody different to try to blend, especially those top two guys when it gets to the playoffs. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But he's certainly not going anywhere anytime soon, barring something super unforeseen. But what it would really take is a bunch of losses with the full complement of everybody. But obviously, we don't even want to see that, because that would mean much worse, implications. There was they beat Orlando twice without anybody. And they had, when Joel returned, they beat Atlanta, and that was a really good win. I enjoyed that win. Joel hit a game winner and then made a great defensive stop. Really enjoyed it. Joel hitting a game winner is always fun, and I thought it was just a very heady play on the attempted lob to John Collins. Any thoughts on that Atlanta game in particular? Thoughts on the DeJounte Trae Young pairing, or all they gave up to get him in general? Dan?
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting. They're still 12-10 after all of that, so I don't know. I didn't love it at the time because it kind of felt like going all in for a team that just can't win. But I mean, he's obviously a good player. I thought it was a lot to get him. But the game was, exciting at the end there. Joel hit a few shots at the end, and hit that one big shot and had the steal on the Trae Young pass that no one ever was able to steal for some reason. So, yeah, like you said, that was a lot of fun. I guess my overarching thought from the past week is that like Shake has continued to be really, really, really good. And has to be a big part of the rotation going forward. It's going to be weird when Maxey and Harden are back. I think I still kind of feel how I feel about possibly bringing Maxey off the bench and still playing him 30 minutes a night. But putting someone with more length in the starting lineup, which would be Melton or Shake. Obviously, Melton's the better defender, but if you want scoring in there, that's Shake. So I just think he's really he looks like he's really matured as a player, and is ready to be a regular part of the rotation. So the shots been falling. Obviously, he was like supposed to be a shooter when he came into the league, and he kind of lost it. But he looks good, and I think that's the big takeaway. Is this team's pretty deep at guard, and obviously they don't have a single three besides Korkmaz, who's also been playing pretty well. They don't have House. That's true, and House. But yeah, and they don't really have a backup four because they're starting Tucker and Harris, but their depth has been a lot better than it was to start the year when they started the year slow, and these guys have really stepped up. And maybe this was good in a way that these guys got to kind of show what they have and get involved. That these guys were able to get minutes, but I'm telling you, you can't take Shake out of this rotation, and you can't really cut his minutes a ton. I don't think. I think he's been too good.
Yeah, it's so funny. A few weeks ago we were talking, and I remember saying like, well, Shake can't do anything anymore. Like he just can't. Like, what's he good at other than dribbling like 4 times consecutively, which few people on the Sixers have been able to do as recently as before Harden. And all of a sudden, he's like back to creating for himself and others, and he and Joel have a good chemistry. And to me, I don't know that he needs to be in the starting lineup, because I think that his value goes down next to Harden, because I don't believe in the catch and shoot thing fully with him yet, because it's still I think that he's probably best when he's carrying the ball and like in a bench pairing, like when he rolls with Joel. I think that's very good. But he definitely is like a for sure rotation guy. When coming into the year, I don't know that I was sure about that. And it's great, Harden's coming back Monday. And we'll just see, the question now will become like, how does this go? I don't think Harden probably will be playing like 35 minutes out the gate, but the question will be like, once everybody's back to their water level, Maxey obviously isn't back just yet. How will it go with readjusting everyone to the minutes that they were at? And the biggest question is, what will Shake be like when he goes back to some semblance of what his minutes were like then? So Emily, your thoughts on the Atlanta game and on Shake, piggybacking off of that.
Yeah, I thought the Atlanta game was fun. I just think mainly always shocked probably and then impressed when the Sixers managed to come back from a deficit. It's just something that they don't do ever. And so to come back from a 16-point deficit and not be that team that, gives up and it's just like, okay, I guess we're losing tonight. I always enjoy when that team comes to play versus the team that we saw play the Cavs. I agree with you. I think Shake needs to be in the rotation. I think he's looked really good. I don't know if Shake's confidence goes by the way of his shot because his shot has looked a lot better than it did earlier in the season. And I think the rest of his game has kind of followed it because he brings a lot to the table even when his shot isn't falling. But I just don't know if he kind of gets shaken. That was a bad pun. But his confidence goes when his shot isn't falling and then the rest of the game kind of falls apart. So I would be interested to see how he looks when he's not, getting 20 points a night and having these really,
Right.
really good games. But I think he still is a valuable player even when his shot isn't falling. So
yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, they have been doing a little bit of offense defense with Tucker and Niang, so that's an interesting wrinkle here. I'd love for them to get Tucker some lower minute games. Everybody had pretty low minutes yesterday because they were fucking ruined by the Cavs, so that always helps. But we'll see. How do you think that this, Harden coming back will affect Melton? It feels like Melton is a great fit next to Harden. But what do you think, Emily?
yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think Melton has played really well in all of these games when everyone was out. I thought, especially defensively, I think he's kind of kept him bias a lot of times have really kept the ship afloat and kept the team together. And they seem to play well with each other at the beginning of the season. So I kind of think it's good that they're Harden and Embiid and Maxey are kind of staggering coming back. I know that's not a planned thing and it's rare that all three would come back at the same time, but it really felt like all three went out at the same time. It was just very quick and very jarring. So I think staggering of them returning is kind of helpful to reassimilate and rebuild this offense. And hopefully that Doc has learned some things when they were out to kind of work them in and make the offense work better, because I think that it's pretty clear that this team works really well when the ball moves. And that was one of the things that I felt the ball wasn't doing at the beginning of the season when everyone was playing. So I'm hoping that we can kind of figure out how to move the ball with these players as they slowly are re-entered into the lineup.
Yeah. What was when was it for Maxey? Is it another couple weeks or is it longer than that? Do we know?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think it was 2 to 4 weeks when it happened.
Because I know that, we're at Monday for Harden. And I know that he's maybe a week or two behind him. So I think that pretty soon they should have the full complement of everybody.
Yeah.
And, Niang has been really hot lately.
Yeah.
And I hope that keeps up. He was kind of shaky in the playoffs last year. When I said the Sixers didn't have a backup four, I almost forgot about him because of that. But
right.
I mean, if he can shoot like this, yeah, they do. So I guess I should give him that.
Right. And B-Ball Paul is the backup five. As of now, it doesn't seem to me that depth is the number one issue on the team. I find myself being more concerned with the top two guys, honestly, gelling and being available and up to the task in the playoffs, and even just winning enough games in the regular season, than I am with their depth guys. Because I'm happy. I don't mind I wish they had better wings. I wish they had more and better wings, and I wish that Harris wasn't a 4 playing the 3, even though he's honestly shot the ball great this year. That's fine. but to me, it's like, can the top guys do it? And they're either going to do it or they're not. The coach isn't super going to help them do it. But you watch fucking Boston win every game by 100. I hate them so much. Their coach leaves in scandal that nobody knows about still, and they just win constantly. Tatum's an MVP candidate. Like, they drive me nuts, man. I can't stand them. And Milwaukee's obviously on that tier. Everybody else, I think, the Sixers are right there with them. But Boston feels like a world beater, and it irritates me. I saw somebody ask, like, why is it that the Celtics are so much better? And I think it's like the wings. The fact that they have these two wings, and then just everybody is pretty much a good defender, and they have this system that's just on a string that they know so well and play together so well, that the Sixers just can't. The Sixers seem so disjointed so often, that I think it's like they're playing a different sport.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's true. All right, we're going to take a break. Boy, do we have something for you after this break. Here comes the break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Dan, take it away, my friend.
All right, I have some trivia that we'll do, and after that, we're going to draft something random. We're gonna have a draft of like liquids or something, just something ridiculous. So my first piece of trivia is, Ken and Drew, you're welcome to hop in on this. Can you name the 3 active NBA players who are in the top 10 of all-time career three-point percentage? So top 10 all-time, 3 of them are active in three-point percentage. There's another
attempts.
You get as many attempts as you need, but it'll be embarrassing if you take too long.
No. I mean, the player. Does the player have a minimum shot attempts?
I'm sure it's something. It's
not somebody who's like 1 for 1.
It's
right?
According to Basketball Reference. So there's some level of attempts, but like second-year players are on the list places.
Okay.
And in addition to those 3, there are another 10 active players, so 13 total, who have a career three-point percentage over 40%. So if you get one of those guys, I'll give you like a half point for that. But your goal is for the 3 that are in the top 10. But if you have a wrong guess and it's close, I'll let you know.
Right.
I'm gonna guess Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is 11th.
Wow.
Which is
okay.
actually very impressive based on his ridiculous difficulty of shots and volume. Yeah, so he's one of the ones above 40%, but he's 11. So he's not one of the 3.
Okay. I'm going to guess Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane is 5th. Career 43.64 three-point percentage.
I'm not going to get any of these. Drew, play this game too, so I don't embarrass myself too much.
Yeah, I'm gonna I was thinking Clay, but then Emily said Steph, and is Clay on there?
18th, so he's above 40%, but he's not in the top 10.
Okay, I'll take a half a point.
Yeah.
I'll
You're not playing against each other, by the way. This is just a teamwork thing.
I'll say, actually, you're wrong. We are playing against each other. I'll say Davis Bertans.
No. Davis Bertans is 51st, and he has a career 39.943.
Oh, he sucks.
Why?
He
There's
did have
that
like a
many.
weird
not rounding.
32% year. Yeah, you're right.
I have no idea.
So you got 2 that are above 40, in addition to the 1, which is Desmond Bane in the top 10. I will give you the hint if you feel like I'll give you a hint if you feel like you need it, but let me know when you feel like you need a hint.
Because we have to get to 3 within the top 10, right?
You need the 3 that are in the top 10.
Then we
Okay,
can
and are
stop
you allowed to
playing
guess?
this game.
I know the list.
Well, I'm saying that would really
You
help.
could have a
if you
guess.
Yeah.
So
All right,
this is
Emily's
top
up.
10.
Or wait, who's up? Emily's
This is
up.
not the
I
top
don't
10
think I need to
active
be
players.
up. I think we
To
can
be-
just guess. Therefore, I don't
Yeah.
have to actively play.
I want to be clear. This is not the top 10 of active players. This is the top 10 of all-time players, 3 of which are active.
All right.
So you got one, which is Desmond Bain. He's 5th all-time.
Is Seth Curry still like really good?
Seth Curry is 3rd. He
There
is
we go.
3.9%. So you have 2 of the 3.
Drew. Nice. All right. Not Joe Harris.
Anyone want to say anything in the meantime?
Yeah. Emily went to Google it. All right. I'm trying to think of teams. And it's got to be one of these weirdos who just stands around and shoots. It's because it's not going to be like Steph Curry's an alien who shoots a million times and happens to hit 42% of them. Kevin Durant is always around 50, 40, 90, but he's like 39%, so he's not going to be there.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is not among the leaders in active players. I'm trying to find him. Kevin Durant is 122nd. He's 38.32%.
Okay. Drew, should I ask for a conference?
If you want a conference, I can give you or you could just ask me. I can help you right here. What?
Wait, do you know?
No, I don't know. No, I'm saying let's conference. Let's go.
No. I'm saying, should I ask Dan to tell us which conference the third person?
Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, 100%. Because we got 2 of the 3 already.
What
right?
conference this gentleman is in? Yeah,
They are in the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference. Emily, did you hear that?
Eastern Conference.
Right.
We're missing one in the top 10. Is that what we're saying?
Right.
Okay.
Eastern Conference. Oh, I got it.
Let's hear it.
I got it. Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton is 33rd all time. He is above 40%, 40.46%.
Damn it. Oh, I thought I had it.
That was a good guess.
Because I knew he was above 40. Fuck, I really thought I had it. I wonder if he's Central Division.
Is it like a stupid one? Are we going to be like, we're stupid when you say it? Or are we going to be like, oh, I never would have got that?
No, it's very gettable.
I wanted it to be hard.
Is it like Bradley Beal?
No.
It is not Bradley Beal. He's actually a pretty bad 3-point shooter. I don't
Yeah,
think
that's what I remember, but I don't know.
anywhere near this list. Bradley Beal is 199th at 37.22%, and I think that's actually gone down a good bit in the last couple of
He
years.
must have, yeah. Because he's had some real, 33% years lately.
He shot last year, he shot 30% from 3. This year's at 36. The year before, he was at 35. The year before, 35. The year before, 35. He actually started off with
just give him some time. He'll crack.
Should we think about big guys who barely shoot him?
Not for this player.
Not for this. Give me a division.
Atlantic.
Oh, God.
Oh, is this a Sixer?
Is it Niang?
No, but Niang is above 40%. He's 26th all time at 40.77%.
Good for him.
So it's Atlantic Division. We're talking Knicks, Sixers, Celtics.
There's not a soul on the Knicks who is on this list.
Nets, Raptors.
Ben Simmons. No, I'm kidding.
He's dead last on the list.
Watch how they switch sides. All right. Anybody on the Nets? Well, you already said a net. You said Seth Curry. Andre Drummond, has he hit like 2 of 3 threes? No, but Dan said that's not the way it goes.
It's not.
And he's also not a net anymore.
He's also on Chicago, yeah.
Right. Who's on the Raptors?
Kyle Lowry. He's not on the Raptors anymore.
OG's not that high. Not Barnes or Siakam. All those freaks are just tall and dunk.
I don't know. I give up.
Give us a team.
They're on the Nets.
It's not Uncle Drew.
No.
Kevin Durant.
No, we already talked about him. I think while you were gone.
Irving is 39.08% from 3. It's just obviously
Who else is on the
pretty good,
net?
but not
Joe Harris.
It's Joe Harris.
Oh, I even mentioned him and said it wasn't him.
Joe Harris is 7th all
Damn
time
it.
at 43.35%. And then the other players who are above 40% and active that you didn't say are Luke Kennard, who's 13th. Michael Porter Jr. is 15th. Bryn Forbes is 22nd. Doug McDermott is 23rd. Joe Ingles is 24th. Duncan Robinson is 38th. And that's it.
Also a net showing. Lots of nets on this list.
No, Joe Ingles is on the Bucks.
Oh yeah. I'm just thinking I saw him recently sitting courtside, not playing, but I didn't know.
That was good, Dan. Did you say you had one other thing?
We can do one other thing if you want.
Wait, what is it?
Dude. We could just draft random stuff. We could have a draft and who can come up with the best 5 liquids or the best 5 desserts or whatever you want.
All right. Let's do this
like
speed
3
round.
of them though. Let's do 3 liquids.
Let's do 3
or desserts.
All right. 3 anything. You name the thing, Emily.
Me?
Yeah.
Let's do liquids.
All right.
All right.
Who is what's the draft order here?
And this is just this is only liquids? Could this be any sort of liquid?
Any kind of liquid. All right, who wants to pick first?
Something about this is grossing me out.
I'll pick first.
We were just saying the word liquid.
You're winning the pick thing, so you can pick first. That's fine.
I'll pick first, and then it'll be me, Emily, Steve, then Steve, Emily, me, then me, Emily, Steve. Those will be the 3
Okay,
rounds.
done.
All right, I'm gonna go with water. I think it's just the best. It's the tops. Can't live without it. It's delicious. Does everything. It snow still counts, right? Ice and the gas one, that's all water. So I'm going water.
The what one?
The gas one.
Like vapor,
yeah, water vapor.
Gas?
Yeah.
Gas.
What?
Okay. And we can have people vote on this, and then whoever wins.
No
wins
one's voting on this.
People are gonna vote.
People have turned this off by now.
Oh, Dan. People love liquids. People are gonna vote.
Okay. I'm gonna pick gasoline.
Wow, Emily loves the fossil fuel industry.
Wait.
It didn't have to be liquids that you consume. It's just liquids, and I think gasoline is a very important liquid.
It's just liquids.
To the way the world runs. I mean,
But didn't Dan just say that his includes yours?
No,
he picked water
I
vapor.
picked water. What do you think water vapor is?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize what you were actually saying. You're saying gasoline that you put in the car.
Yes.
Okay, that's your favorite liquid.
I mean, I just think in terms of important liquids on the planet, I think an important
You guys
liquid
are
on
He's
the
a big
guys are
British
nuts.
petroleum fan.
I
You
guess
guys are
does
nuts.
gasoline and oil the same? Do they go together?
Yeah, they go together.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I want them
Unless you
all.
want to take like olive oil, that'd be separate.
Oh, that's a different one.
She's waiting for her next turn. All right. Give me coffee. Number 1, best beverage, or best one of them. It's the greatest. Wakes you up in the morning, puts you to bed at night. Best thing that you
Does
can
not
drink.
put you to bed at night.
Have it as many ways as you want. It's versatile. Will I pick other, espresso drinks later? Maybe. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud, but you can have it with milk or sugar or cream or sugar and do it up however you want it. It's great. It's the best.
Next pick is also you, by the way.
Yeah. So
Next pick's me. Whoa.
snake draft.
I'm gonna go, man. I'm gonna go. Yeah, right here, folks. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a Negroni here. A Negroni's a lovely drink.
What?
This
Yeah.
is wild. This is a wild.
Emily, do you like a
selection.
Negroni?
I don't think I've ever had one.
That's such a weird
they're
pick.
great.
Why don't you take a
It's
beer like a
great.
normal person?
Emily chose gasoline. Okay, so my pick
That's
isn't
more
weird.
normal than this.
No, it's not. You can't drink that.
We didn't
Unless you
say
It's not that strange.
drinkable liquid. It's not drinks, it's liquids.
What are you doing? All right. Negronis are great. You have a good one. It's gin. It's red vermouth. It's a garnish. It's really good. You get a good one. It's great.
Okay,
Negroni,
that was
number
too
two.
specific. I'm gonna go just beer as my second pick. I'm not picking a specific one. I'm just picking beer in general.
Fair.
All right, and then so I have back to back here. So I'm gonna go with milk with my first one. So listen, milk is very necessary for babies, for people who like chocolate milk.
Pandering to Emily. Babies.
We're not voting. It's important for people who want, good bone health, I guess. And it's great with Oreos. And I think that's an important
been
thing.
eating a
Any
lot of
cookies,
Oreos.
really. Any cookies, but especially Oreos. And then for my last one, I'm going to go with wine to complement Emily's beer. I think
And my
wine,
Negroni, they could, you could tie us
yeah,
all
well,
in.
yeah, but I respect Emily's beer more. But wine is delicious. It's you feel a little classy when you drink it. I feel less guilty having a glass of wine, with dinner than a beer with dinner sometimes. So I'm gonna go with wine.
Okay. With my last pick, I'm gonna go with Gatorade. It's fueling athletes everywhere. I'm personally a red Gatorade fan, but there's so many options that people can, pick your player, and they've got all kinds of versions. They've got the light Gatorade. You can have the full sugar Gatorade, and it's really refreshing. You're really hot. You open up a fresh Gatorade from Wawa, and sometimes there's nothing better. So I'm gonna go Gatorade.
Yeah.
You had so long to think of something.
Right.
Urine is still
Yeah.
available.
Oh, that's a good one.
Urine.
Blood's out there.
Blood is out there.
Saliva.
I'm just gonna go with cappuccino. You've got coffee.
He doesn't understand this game.
You don't get this game at all.
He's got it. Those are the best liquids. They're all liquid. They're
took coffee. Cappuccino's included with coffee.
I'll tell you right. No, it's not.
He wants
it's
them
espresso.
separate.
Listen, I do want them separate because I have both of those every day. And then if I'm feeling frisky, I'll have a Negroni.
No, notice that
make
Emily didn't.
Steve just
Notice that
described
Emily,
his
Emily
perfect
didn't
day.
say Blue Moon. Emily said beer, and I didn't say. I didn't say a specific brand of
put out the
Sauvignon
poll.
Blanc I like. I said wine.
Drew, if you can hear me, put out the poll. And I'm gonna landslide. Me and my cappuccino coffee Negroni lovers are gonna run away with this. Thank you for playing.
Okay.
Awful performance by
This is a new feature. This is a new feature on the show, and I'm happy to spearhead it into the new year. All right, time for preview and predictions. Emily, or whatever, you know what I mean. Emily, how'd we do last week on our shit?
So everyone went 2-2, so nothing has really changed. But we're all pretty close. So Dan's winning at 9-11, and then me and Steve are 8-12.
Oh,
so
9-11 for Dan. Interesting. Go
We're
ahead.
all under 500.
yeah, we all suck. And then I guess this week there's 2 games. At Memphis on
Oh,
Friday.
whoa! Look at you go.
Well, I know someone that's not that good at this. So, and then at Houston. So only 2 games this week.
All right, at Memphis, at Houston. Yeah, I'm just doing some research. Looks like they play at Memphis and at Houston. I'll go first. I don't usually go first. I will say they win them both. There you go.
Okay.
Danny, ball game. What do you say?
2-0.
Emily?
All right. Well, I guess I'll be a contrarian. I'll either work against here for me, but I'll go. They lose to Memphis. They beat Houston.
Good stuff. Steve J. Littman, Third and Girl, Gastro Blues Pod, D.A. Peltz 13, the Gastro Blues Show, Sixers podcast on YouTube, clips and the whole episode, this fun game, the trivia, all of that kind of stuff brought to you by Dan Volpone. Excellent job. A lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving coming up. A lot of holidays coming up. A lot of good things coming in the new year. A lot of good days coming up. Everybody have a wonderful night. Be safe and be great. Enjoy yourself in the garage.
Oh, yeah, baby, I love you so, yeah, and I never really